Is it the rain or is it the tears of Buffalo fans as they watch their season go into the end zone along with Jalen Hurts? Now, Buffalo did score a field goal on the opening drive. Could have been 6, but a miscommunication between Gabe Davis and the quarterback Josh Allen behind the defense leads to a Philadelphia drive, one that ends in 7. Hurts with the designed run there. 18 of 31, 200 yards, 64 more on the ground. 5 total touchdowns as Hurts completes the comeback victory over Buffalo.
Wow.
Wow. I took the words out of my mouth. Can you tell we work together quite often? Wow is the word when it comes to what we just saw there. Take me to overtime, B-Mac. I mean, there was so much to unpack here, whether it's the miscommunication on 3rd down between quarterback and receiver, the soft defense with the defense out there for Buffalo. What was the reason Buffalo lost this game?
Well, some of the issues that we've watched with Buffalo in regards to mental miscues and, you know, just the mishaps within the flow of the ball game surface once again. And in that overtime period, when you talk about not being on the same page, which is mind-boggling to say with Buffalo because Josh Allen has been there for quite some time. Gabe Davis has been there for the team for quite some time as well. And 3rd down situation, I mean, clearly, we watching the game. Philly, they're showing every gap had a hat in it, meaning they're bringing pressure. They're bringing zero-like pressure. So instantly, as a pass catcher and your quarterback, you got to be on the same page. And Gabe Davis ran the corner route. Josh Allen threw the seam route, missed an opportunity. And when you're playing against a championship-caliber team on the road, like the Philadelphia Eagles, you cannot allow them to get extra moments to breathe. You got to snatch the breath out of them because if you allow them to breathe, they're going to get up and they're going to trample over you. And that was the deciding factor because they gave, I mean, Jalen Hurts kind of went in that Mamba mentality.
Well, that's exactly where I want to take you.
And he got an opportunity and he cashed in. 5
total touchdowns, 3 through the air, 2 on the ground. Becomes the first and only other quarterback other than Mike Vick to do that in that uniform. Spectacular what he does, even more impressive what he does when rubber meets road in these types of moments. Is there a more clutch quarterback? I mean, I know there's guys with rings that we want to think about, but is there a more determined quarterback when we get into moments like these?
I mean, you got to keep putting some respect on
Pat
money.
Mahomes is the top of every list. We will not argue
that. But Jalen Hurts, the way he does it is just so smooth, right? He doesn't utilize extra energy, emotion. It's just, it's effective. And when he got the football back, watching the game, you're like, oh, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. They were sustaining drives, you know, getting first downs, making positive things happen, and they just had the Bills' defense on their heels. It was like they were standing on eggshells, didn't want to move, right? And they capitalized on it. And like you said, in the day where Jalen Hurts wasn't at his best, he still gave it 5 total touchdowns.
It was spectacular to watch Jalen Hurts do what he did in these moments. Let's take you to exactly where it happened. The lead analyst of the NFL on CBS, Tony Romo, joining us now. Tony, unbelievable scenes there in Philadelphia in the rain. It looked like Buffalo could pull off this signature win. And then in the final moments, the experience of Philadelphia really shined through. Take me through what you saw in overtime that led to this victory.
Well, I think the biggest thing is that Buffalo played a great game, but when 2 great teams play, Buffalo really kept Philadelphia in the game early. The 2 missed field goals, all the penalties. I mean, it's hard to beat a great team with either of those things, but they still had their opportunities there. But these games come down to a play, to a call. I mean, really, Brown fumbling it and getting lucky that that didn't happen 1/2 of a step later. The Bills win the game. Nope, because that call, then it goes the other way. But when you have an opportunity to take on a team like Philly at 9-1, you've got, you know, to drive the stake through them. You can't leave them in it. They're too good. And, I mean, Buffalo still could run the table. This is a very complete football team. Matt Milano being out really hurts them, but I thought they could have ran the table with their new system on offense and the way they're going. They're going to be tough. I mean, but this is a backbreaker for Buffalo, and Philly does the same thing every week. That's 14 straight games that they've won against a winning opponent in the NFL. That's the most ever. It's unbelievable how they just have that pedigree and DNA.
It seems that the best comes out of them in these types of moments. And you mentioned just the razor's edge that this game was decided on. It felt like this might have been the best game we saw out of Buffalo all season long. And it comes here in a loss, playing to win and playing not to lose, two completely different things. What is the road ahead?
Yes.
What is the message? How do you stay productive out of something as heartbreaking as this for Buffalo when you're looking at this gauntlet 3-game stretch?
Well, the biggest thing is they know like these games sometimes can spur you on and be like, well, if that's the best the league has to offer, we should have won. So you gain confidence sometimes from that. And if you're a Bills fan or if you're in that organization, in that building, you're like, okay, that's our approach. We come in and we should have won this. If we clear up the penalties, we don't throw the one interception maybe, but Josh played amazing, so you can't blame him at all. He left it all out there. But to me, they're as good as anyone, but they just put themselves in such a hole with the way they started the season. And they've lost some games like this. Some of the other ones were more self-imposed stuff. But I believe that they're as good as anybody if they can get in the playoffs. But you just got to take it one day at a time and get back to work. And I have a funny feeling that you're going to see them get on a little run here.
We will see, as you mentioned, the A.J. Brown play, the Gabe Davis play. This game decided in those types of moments.
Comes down to that, right?
Exactly. And Philadelphia, who can you trust better than Jalen Hurts and this team in those moments? First team to 10 wins. They've officially clinched a playoff spot. Now, checking that box, one of the big boxes at the beginning of the season, this early in the year, with a performance like that from your quarterback. I mean, talk about the psyche and the momentum of Philadelphia coming off of something like this.
Well, that's huge for them. They now know. It's not like Kansas City, or Dallas, like the games they've won earlier, and then Kansas City last week. It's like, well, we just played the other bests around. And you heard Jalen Hurts afterwards say that's a great football team, and we knew that because we've seen them before. This is their first time playing them. But now they know, no matter what the score is, come playoff time or anything, all right, we've been here before. We're down 10 at half again. All right, we'll just go do what we have to do. And that is priceless. It's you can't buy that for your team, from a head coaching perspective. Sirianni doesn't have to try and convince them. They know it, and they know it. So they're going to be really tough to beat. Even though there's still some flaws, they're not quite as dominant as they were last year. The league caught up in certain areas. But I think I'm finding that Philly's starting to figure themselves out with 2 new coordinators, and they're almost, I think, about to be playing their best football. I've seen signs of that, and the second half today was like that as well.
You know it means more when Tony Romo's got the all-weather jacket on as we come down the stretch here, Tony. We appreciate you twice in a week stopping by here on HQ. You're the best.
Thanks, you guys too.
Plenty more coming on the tail end of this one from Philadelphia. Jalen Hurts, simply spectacular. We'll hear from the quarterback postgame, plus full highlights and reaction from Philly.